The Titans of...
I don't know.
Nobody for miles, and you can just take a dump in the sea breeze.
Exactly. Taking dumps in the sea breeze.
That's what I'm saying. Open toilet. You just sit down. There's no neighbors, nobody looking, nobody caring. Zero that we're going to start talking. What does the finger mean?
That means go.
Finger means go!
Yeah, the finger means go.
Yeah. So we're getting dynamite here. Poop it in the sea breeze, and finger means go.
Oh, yeah. We got all kinds of stuff
And a
going
little
on.
Slayer on a cigar box.
There you go. Actually, Let me see. I think I was able to do some Slayer on the mandolin here. Hello. Oh, man.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, do it up.
So, this is Joe,
This is Ben.
and we are the Titans of...
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
No. I have no idea.
It's a big
But I
mystery.
do know is that today we're doing top 10 guitarists of all time while, talking about various other things. I do not feel like this list is great. It's from the top10s.com because I feel like 15 through 10 are some of the better guitar players that are totally missing off the list. So in the spirit of keeping it as a top 10, I'll just scroll through the, 15 through 10 real quick. Number 15.
Well, hold on. Before we get into this list, I just like to say, because these lists have been nothing but bias. I mean, I looked at every year Rolling Stone does a 100 top greatest guitar players, and Kurt Cobain is usually in the top 10. I'm sorry, that guy was not a great guitar player.
He is not in the top 10 of this list.
Okay.
He's not even in the top 15.
All right, and Trey Anastasio ended up on 72 one year.
That I can understand because he's a decent guitar player. In 100? Out of 100, yeah.
72 though? Like Kurt Cobain outbeat him? Like there was a couple of guys that got
Oh.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like some of these. All right, so what we got here? 15.
Number 15 is probably one of my favorite guitar players. Thanks, Fox. Number 15 is probably one of my favorite guitar players of all time.
Okay.
Carlos Santana.
Nice.
Revolutionary in so many ways. And shot to fame, if I remember correctly, because he got to Woodstock and thought that he was playing at a later time. So he dropped acid. And then he ended up going on 20 minutes later and played probably one of the best shows, but one of the best sets at Woodstock ever. It's amazing. And what he has done with a PRS, his tone, dude, he's one of the best guitar players there is.
I mean, I would agree. His tone. I mean, over the years, I think his tone has gotten a little bit more digitalized sounding through the guitar and the amps that he's using. But the way his tone was back in the 70s and the 60s, it was great.
But he wasn't playing a PRS then. He was playing a Fender.
Right.
So, but
well, it's
nowadays,
not the guitar.
you hear something on the radio, you can tell it's Santana playing.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
When it's him.
The thing is that although his tone then, I liked it better than it was today, I think it has to do with the modern equipment that's being used. Not the guitar itself, but just the equipment.
Right. So, okay, now 14, Joe Satriani.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay? So here is the quote underneath his name. This is what happens when people who don't listen to anything but commercialized music vote on the best guitarists. There are key components that should be considered when voting for this. I think he's okay. I mean, if I had to pick in his style who better guitar players are, I'd go for who's the dude from Dream Theater?
John Petrucci.
John Petrucci. John Petrucci should be on this list before this guy, if you're going to go with that style of music. Because
Spoiler
Petrucci,
alert, he will not be on this list.
oh yeah, he's not on this list. He's totally not, and neither is Steve Vai. They picked Satriani over those three. Like, out of those three, I would have picked Petrucci, but that's just me.
Yeah, well,
Number 13, I feel like, is at 13 because of his lifespan and how much he accomplished before he died. It's Randy Rhoads.
I mean, the guy was a very interesting guitar player. He studied a lot from a lot of different teachers. But one thing that's really interesting is that he took lessons up until he died.
Right, and he had a more classical approach to rock, and that's one of the reasons why I thought he was so awesome, because what he did with Ozzy's songs, it was just phenomenal.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the guy definitely took something that a lot of people were not doing in the rock realm, and he injected it in there and got people's heads turning, for sure.
Yeah, okay. Number 12 I would put on there because he revolutionized the style of guitar. Okay, he created a way to make songs that wasn't conventional because he didn't have all his fingers. And I'm talking about Tony Iommi.
Oh, yeah. Well, no.
The way that he did chords, like 2-3 finger chord. No, didn't he only have 2 fingers that he could use?
No, he could use all his fingers. It's just that the tips
We're missing.
The tips of his fingers were chopped off. And because of that, he had to use thimbles to play guitar, which you know firsthand from playing all kinds of stringed instruments like me, that playing without being able to feel the strings would be really weird.
Yeah, no, it would be a horrible experience. Horrible experience. Number 11, Dimebag Darrell.
Yeah.
Darrell Lance Abbott.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you something about Dimebag Darrell that a lot of people don't realize that he's doing. And there's actually, if you go on YouTube and really search for this thing, you will find a video where he explains how to do this technique that he does. So there's
His screaming harmonic technique.
the screaming harmonic technique. That's the thing, and that's him. I've seen a couple of other guys do it, but he does it, and then there's a video where he explains how to do it, and it has to do with your tremolo bar, right? The whammy bar is the thing that makes that thing happen. If you don't use the whammy bar, you can't do it. So you can't do it on like a Les Paul. So people like Slash can't do that.
Well, the only person I could think of off the top of my head that even comes close to doing that today would be Van Halen. He was good at getting those harmonics, those really high-pitched harmonics.
I'm not sure if he did that.
I don't know how he did
in the
it.
beginning. There's a whole trick to it. You watch Dimebag Darrell. He gives you a great explanation how to do it. It's on like it's like a home video shot type of thing.
Okay, next, number 10. Now we're into the top 10.
Top 10.
Those were just ones I had to mention because they should be in the top 10 in my eyes. But, number 10, Brian May.
Brian May. Okay. I mean, his guitar playing was definitely not something you would normally find in rock music. So
No, I consider it under the radar, would be my way of describing it. He definitely flew under the radar throughout, like, his entire career. But, then again, somehow made the guitar sound like a symphony, like that, what's that song? Killer Queen.
Oh, yeah.
His guitar playing on Killer Queen was pretty badass. Really, really good harmonies. But I think
really
he was
cool,
harmonizing himself, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so that's all studio stuff. But something that's really cool, I don't know if you knew this, but his guitar he made himself, and it's the only guitar he uses. In fact, there was a guitar company that released, his series guitar, right, modeled like his guitar, the one that he built, and he has a whole bunch of them at home and doesn't even play them because he only plays his guitar, and that's the only guitar
hilarious.
he uses.
That's hilarious. Okay, number 9. I'll let you talk about this one, considering you're playing the guitar. Kirk Lee Hammett.
Wow, Kirk Hammett. I don't I'll be honest with you, he should not be in the top 10. I just don't see it. I mean, as a guitar player, yeah, he's really good. He definitely inspires people to play. His guitar solos are challenging enough to give people a real challenge in learning how to play them, but also they're easy enough to where someone who is learning how to do guitar solos can learn from his guitar solos to get the confidence needed to learn, I guess, more technical solos that other guys would play. He doesn't usually play such stuff like that. Although I do have the Kirk Hammett Signature Series LTD guitar. Okay, I do have that. This is it right here. It has the.
That's nifty. Where'd you get that from?
I got this from a place. I'm not going to plug them, but it was actually given to me as a gift for my birthday by my wife.
Nice.
Yeah, a number of years ago.
Little trivia question: Kirk Hammett formed and played in a band before he joined Metallica. What was the name of the band?
Exodus.
Nice. Did he continue to play with Exodus after Metallica?
No, he quit Exodus to play for Metallica, and I think he made the right move.
Wow. Okay. So this person has been quoted as saying, "This guy isn't a guitar god; he is the guitar god." Number 8. Angus Young.
Angus Young. Now, see, this guy shouldn't even be on the list at all.
No, because all he's famous for is the Chuck Berry. What did they call it? The Chuck Berry duck walk that he butchered.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's on here.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would replace him with Santana or Dimebag or anybody else that was further down the list.
The guy he just played classic rock guitar. Not classic rock, but the classic style of playing rock music on guitar. That's what he did. He stuck with it his entire life. And it worked for him. Yeah, they had great songs, for sure. Could the guy play guitar? Definitely. But should he be on the top 10 list or 15 list of greatest guitar players of all time? No.
Let's put it this way. B.B. King's at 17.
B.B. King. See, that's just crazy.
Petrucci's at 24.
John Petrucci is at 24. That's
Yngwie's at 25. Tom Morello's at 26. Zach Wilde's at 27.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, this list is... I don't know who made this.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you about that guy.
You're fired.
Yeah.
John Frusciante is at 31. John Frusciante?
He's
Red Hot Chili Peppers?
He's which one?
He's 31.
31. I'll tell you about the guy who made this list, man.
You're fired.
I don't know. I have no idea. So, let's see. Where were we? Angus Young. Okay, number 7. Pink Floyd's David Gilmour. I don't know. This list is aggravating.
I don't know what there's. This list is more about guys who they like, rather than real talent and ingenuity. David Gilmour is a good guitar player and all, but and he's a great songwriter. But we're talking about best guitar players, best. Okay, so he shouldn't be this high up on the list. This is definitely somebody's. These are very opinionated lists to begin with, but if someone's going to make a list like this, they really need to know guitar techniques, guitar abilities. They also have to look at where's this person on the timeline of guitar,
right?
So they have to look at these things.
Okay. Number 6 makes sense. It is the first one so far on this list that actually makes sense to me. Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Okay. So this is a guy who, this guy can play guitar. Yeah, for sure. He should be on this list because he reignited the blues.
He reinvented the blues on an electric guitar. He reinvented the blues on an electric guitar. Because you look at somebody like B.B. King and his guitar Lucille, it's a hollow body. I don't consider a hollow body to be an electric guitar.
Well, it's by definition that is an electric guitar. There are a number of blues guys who played electric guitar.
Yeah, Eric Clapton.
Yeah, but he also did rock music. He wasn't. I don't think people would consider him necessarily a blues guy. He's just a guy who learned how to play blues on guitar, but made up his own stuff.
I don't know, man. Cream. That he did a lot of blues inspired stuff when he was in Cream. He did, but I get it. He was more blues when he was solo than when he was with Cream. I don't know.
Oh,
But
well.
it makes sense. It makes sense. What he did, even though he was only a mainstream professional for 7 years, was phenomenal. Double Trouble, one of the best backup bands, he could ask for. It was pretty badass. Number 5, Soul Hudson.
Soul Hudson.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you got me on this one. I don't know who this is.
Professionally, he's known as Slash.
No way. That's Slash. Well, see, okay, so Slash is another guy. Really good guitar player. He was really good at taking the vocal melodies of songs and injecting them into the guitar solos. Should it be on the top 10 list? I don't think so.
When he came up was the 80s and 90s, so he got a lot of recognition because he was the only one doing that type of stuff in the 80s. He was the only one that was matching the vocals to the guitar playing.
Yeah, he was the only one doing that. You don't really hear people doing that now.
Right.
It was something that I guess a lot of people just couldn't recreate or something, but that's really just his style, which is really cool. But I actually did that recently for a song that when I'm working with a singer, I decided there is no guitar. It's a cover song. In the original song, there is no guitar solo. So we decided to add a guitar solo in there, and at first I tried using the vocal melodies from the song, and I'm putting them in there, and it just wasn't happening.
I will be right back. I have to go get a nice pop.
Bye, Felicia.
What's up?
Oh,
Not much.
sexy girlfriend.
All right. So where were we? Number 5? Who was that?
Wait,
That was
hold on.
Slash.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we did that.
Yeah, we're done with Slash. All right.
Okay, so we got number 5 done.
Number 4.
Number 4.
All right, here we go. Number 4. Eric Patrick Clapton.
Eric Clapton.
I agree with him being on a list. I do not agree with him being at number 4. But as far as guitar players go, that album that he did with B.B. King, Riding with the King, oh my gosh, his blues guitar playing in that was phenomenal. I would probably put him in the top 25. I doubt I would put him number 4 of all time.
No. All right, so like I said again, we're talking about people who are revolutionary on guitar. Now, with him, he was doing stuff. He did help create the rock genre that we know and love. I don't think he should be this high up on the list. The guy isn't, he is a great guitar player. Don't get me wrong. I guess I'm just really picky. You know what it is? As a guitar player myself, I get really biased about who should be on these lists, especially if I can play their stuff without much effort. I feel like maybe these guys shouldn't be on the list or this high up on the list. John Petrucci is far better than this guy. And he was, 32 or something on the list? That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Listen, Prince should be on this list. Tim Reynolds should be on this list. There's a lot of people that are missing from this list. Just saying. Tim Reynolds is the acoustic and electric guitar player for the Dave Matthews Band.
I don't think he should be on the list either.
You need to listen to him play, and then you'll change your mind. I promise. I'll find a song for you to listen to that he does during their acoustic sets, and you'll totally change your mind. That one I know. I will change your mind on that one. Number 3, Eddie Van Halen.
Eddie Van Halen. Okay, so here's a guy that should definitely be on the list, but is not. He's a little higher than he should be on this list. But yeah, he should definitely be on this list. I agree. He should be here.
There is probably, in just say metal music today, two people that I know that do Eddie Van Halen style, Zakk Wylde and Kerry King, immediately mimic stuff that Eddie Van Halen, innovated. That two-handed tapping technique thing that he does.
Mm-hmm.
As far as, like innovation goes, he should definitely be on a list. But yeah, nowhere near number 3. It still baffles me. I don't get it.
Well, the thing about him is that he took the locking tremolo system and put a use to it that no one other than Jimi Hendrix had ever thought of, or was able to do. Like Hendrix kind of, he kind of used a system before that was around to kind of emulate what Van Halen had figured out to do. Plus, Van Halen was the one that really took the whole tapping thing and made it a very known and popular thing. Although before that, it was a technique that almost nobody knew how to do.
Right. And he didn't even let people know how to do it because he always turned his back to the crowd when he was doing stuff like that.
That's right. So then no one even knew what he was doing.
Okay. So number 2, I don't know who made this stupid list, but they put Jimmy Page at number 2.
Jimmy Page at number 2?
Of all time greatest guitar players.
No. Now I'm gonna no. First of all, if you ever listen to like a live show of them, the guy is very sloppy guitar player. You can hear it on their albums. He's still a great guitar player, great songwriter, but greatest one of the second. He's number 2. Like.
Here's a quote that somebody put underneath. People are commenting on this list. They said, Jimmy was great in the studio, and that alone would earn him a place in the top 10. But he was a sloppy performer and never could play as well live as he did in the studio. The list of greatest guitarists should consist of people who are great live and in the studio, and unfortunately, he was not great at the former.
Bullseye.
So, yeah, he was only good in the studio. He wasn't good live, so I don't know why he's on here.
Right. He should not be on this list, like I said. And that person really nailed it right there.
Yeah, totally. All right, so, number 1. Want to take a guess?
I probably already mentioned this person, whom I was trying to avoid mentioning, but I'm going to go with Jimi Hendrix.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir. Number 1 greatest guitar player of all time, according to Buttons.com. Jimi Hendrix.
Okay, so here's a yes and no behind this, because I'm going to say yes, and then I'm going to say no. And the no part is what's going to really shock people, okay?
Okay.
But here's why I'm going to say yes. Yes, the guy was very innovative. He helped create the first fuzz pedal, which is the first distortion pedal, the wah-wah pedal. He took the whammy bar and put it to a use that was completely unheard of before that. Okay, the guy could play circles around anyone in this generation. Anyone in this time period, he could just play circles around them. And people say, well, he played electric guitar, so, that's that. But if you go...
He was equally as good at acoustic.
Oh, yeah, exactly. You go look him up playing acoustic stuff, yeah, you're going to have a hard time. The guy played a very odd style of guitar because he used his forefingers and his thumb to play. So
right, well, people don't realize... He started off playing in a house band. He played for a decade in a house band at a bar before he even started playing professionally.
Oh, yeah. One thing that's very interesting was that I believe that he had a photographic memory. Just because he listened to a Bob Dylan song one night. Bob Dylan was at a club playing a show, and then he said, hey, I like this song. We should do this song. So he took his guys, ran to the studio, and recorded all along the Watchtower. Mm-hmm. And in fact, he actually did the bass line for it as well because the bassist could not do it. He was having trouble doing it, so he played it on an upside-down bass. that same night. And Bob Dylan was actually a little upset about that because Jimi Hendrix recorded his song before he did.
Yeah, but thought that he did it better.
Yeah, and Hendrix did it better anyway. It's like every song Bob Dylan wrote, when someone covered it, they always did it better than Bob Dylan. But now, all these things, right? We're looking at the time period that he's from, right? The types of things that he was doing. So like the wah-wah pedal was actually a hand device that guitar players used just to change the how much treble or how much bass their guitar had. They could change it in the middle of a song. They want to, let me add a little bit more here, and it was done with the hand. Well, he said, no. I'm putting this on the ground. I'm going to use my foot. So he put it. Simple little thing like that revolutionized the wah-wah pedal. This took this idea of changing the sound like this and made it where you can manipulate the hell out of it while you're playing guitar. So he used his foot to change the sound, and that's where you get that sound.
Right, which is badass.
Right, exactly. So that was totally different. Another thing was he took the bridge of his guitar, the whammy bar section, and he actually bent it out of place. So that way it could have more give when he wanted to use the whammy bar. So instead of getting like that little bit of, here, I'll demonstrate it for you. This is how those whammy bars used to work. They would do that little bit of tremolo. And he got it to where it would go, really dive down like that. All right, I don't know how well you can hear that because I'm not plugged in, but, getting those really crazy dives. Now, also his technique was just beyond what other people were capable of handling.
Right.
Now.
Right, which is totally understandable. Little side note that just came up, Malcolm Young just died. Since, we're talking about guitar players.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Angus's little big brother? I don't know which brother. But yeah, keep going. Talk about die bombs.
Okay, so he did all that stuff. Now, another thing was... now, okay, so these are my yeses. Now, here's my no's.
Okay.
It's right here. It's above my mouth, below my eyes. Okay. And, yep, that's my bad joke for the day, so...
Yep. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Pretty bad. You have any other bad jokes?
No, not today. That's it. I'm only allowed one. Okay, so... now, why... I don't think he should be number one.
I don't either. I really don't. I'm... Call me crazy, but I've never been a huge fan of his. I can listen to some of his songs, but other ones I've heard him so many times that I just... I can't listen to him anymore.
Now, if this was 1970 and we were talking about this, I couldn't see anyone else.
He would have been dead already, Joe. He died in the beginning of 1970.
I know. I'm saying if it was 1970 and we were talking about this, I couldn't see anyone else being on number one. But it is 2018. It is November 2018. And, yeah, this guy should be in the top 10 because he was definitely influential to countless other people, millions of people. This guy single-handedly made millions of people pick up the guitar and want to learn how to play. But with the amount of styles that we have today and the amount of techniques that are going on, let's just take a look at one person that he influenced to play guitar, and that was Jimi Hendrix influenced Yngwie Malmsteen.
Right.
Now, Yngwie...
who I can't stand either. He's horrible.
Well, that's fine. But the thing is that Yngwie can just... He can do circles around Hendrix when it comes to guitar playing. I mean, if you listen to the guy cover a Jimi Hendrix song, he just makes it... He's like... You forget that Jimi Hendrix did. And so can Stevie Ray Vaughan. That guy was also better than Hendrix.
Right.
Like style-wise or ability-wise, their abilities were beyond his. And
right,
that's
but Hendrix did it first.
Right, Hendrix did it first. So he should be on the list. We're
Yes,
talking
sir.
about influential, skill, all right, innovative. If the guy was alive today,
He would be better than he ever was.
yeah, he would. I would definitely, depending on what he would be doing today, I would say that the guy would probably be still innovating, still doing new stuff, still looking to get other kinds of sounds out of the guitar. And with all the modern technology we have, who knows what this guy would be doing? But that's not the case, so he can't be number one. All right, there are so many people that are technically better than him
That deserve to be number one.
that deserve to be number one.
And if I had a list of the top 2 guitar players that ever lived, I would put Prince above Jimi Hendrix.
No, I definitely would not do that.
Yes, so I don't think you're giving his guitar playing enough credit, Joe. I really don't. You should study some Prince and then come back and tell me how wrong I wasn't.
I'll tell you something about. Okay, so I'm in a cover band. We go out to clubs and restaurants and play cover songs. So we did "Purple Rain," which was not the easiest song to do, but it wasn't challenging. Look, the guy is not innovative as a guitarist. Okay, he takes a couple of the same scales. He knows them around the guitar, and he plays them. He's not. He is good.
They came from the heart, Joe.
I don't want to take away what ability he does have, but I don't want to push it further than it is. It's like
He should be in the top 10, without a doubt. But I mean, and I just saw another comment on the Jimi Hendrix thing. It says it's easy to say Hendrix was the best when his ass died at the top of his game. Easy to be awesome when you die.
Well,
It's a good point.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Awesome guitar players transcend their age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he died when he was 27, so it's hard to say what the guy was going to be doing when he was 37.
Exactly. Who knows what he would be doing at 37? But in the spirit of bad jokes, I got a bad joke for you.
Uh-oh.
There are 3 types of people in this world. Those that can count and those that can't.
Nice.
That took you way too long to understand. That took you way too long to get, Joe.
Trust me, when we're listening to this podcast later, you'll understand why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so that concludes this horrible list of guitar players. Next, we'll either do bassists or drummers or bassists. We'll see.
Bassists or bassists?
No bassists or drummers or bassists.
Why don't we do like top 10 worst guitar players that shouldn't have a job playing guitar but do?
That do it professionally?
That do it professionally, but really just they'd be better off like being a janitor or something.
All right, let's see what they say. Worst guitarist of all time. Top 10.
Spoiler alert.
Number 1, Lil Wayne.
Oh, you got me too. You beat me to it. Okay.
Number 1 is Lil Wayne, worst guitar players of all time.
I swear he was going to be my number 1 on the list. That guy's better off.
Number 2 worst of all time, Nick Jonas.
Nick Jonas. Oh my God.
Number 3, Taylor Swift.
Yeah, apparently she actually does play guitar. I don't even know if she's any good, and I'm a little afraid to find out.
Number 4, Kurt Cobain.
Okay. A little too high on that list,
Okay.
but all right.
Number 5, Fred Durst.
Fred Durst, that's right. He stole my job.
Yeah.
I was going to be the guitar player for Limp Bizkit, and he took it from me.
Number 6, Justin Bieber.
He plays guitar?
Apparently.
No.
And he's a lefty too, Joe.
No. Duh, that's horrible.
He makes lefty guitar players even worse than they already are.
All right, look. At least the honky-tonk man we know can play better guitar than him. And all he does is he takes the guitar and smashes people in the face with it.
Right.
And that's still better.
Number 7, Shawn Mendes.
Shawn Mendes.
Yeah, he's a Canadian singer, songwriter, and model.
They had to throw that in there, right? Well, he's also a model.
Yeah. Wow. Number 8, Billy Joe Armstrong.
I mean, the guy can just play
Sorry if you're
some chords.
listening to this, BJ. We didn't know that it was going to be on there.
Well, I mean, let's name 3 people we know who's better than him personally. Let's see.
Me.
That's 1. Me. That's 2.
2.
Fox. That's 3.
Yeah. Fox can be 3.
Fox.
Number 9, worst guitar player of all time, Joe Jonas, which I'm guessing is related to Nick Jonas.
Oh yeah.
He's in that band that I can't remember the name of.
So apparently,
but they sing that song "Cake by the Ocean." You ever heard that song?
No. I like being able to hear.
Number 10, I don't agree with. Okay, so number 10 in the top worst guitar players of all time is Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran.
I don't think that's true.
Oh no,
Ed
he's
Sheeran's actually a good guitar player.
He actually is. Yeah, trust me. I teach a lot of people guitar. Do you know how many people want to learn Ed Sheeran songs? And sometimes I have to tell them, no, you can't learn this one because it's got bar chords in it. You're not up to that ability. Or
next, I'm going to skip a couple actually.
Okay.
Number 13, Kirk Hammett.
Kirk Hammett, he's on the worst list. Wow, this person
on the same website that he's on the best list.
That's so funny. I guess someone just hates him. That's what it is. It's like guitar players I hate.
Number 17, I don't agree with because he's actually a phenomenal blues guitar player, John Mayer.
John Mayer's on this list? No way. That guy's really good.
Worst of all time.
What?
Number 21 is Steve Vai.
What? On the worst list?
It says all Steve Vai does is play 1 million notes per second. He has no feel.
Oh, shut the hell up. This guy, oh my God. No. This is just wrong.
Number Elvis Presley and James Hetfield.
What?
This one's ridiculous. Number 29 is The Edge.
What? What kind of list is this?
30 is Slash. 32 is Dave Mustaine.
What?
And Dave Mustaine, because the lower you go, the worse they're supposed to be. So Dave Mustaine is a worse guitar player than number 33, and number 33 is Marilyn Manson.
Marilyn Manson doesn't even play guitar.
But yet Dave Mustaine is worse at it than he is.
I wonder if Ozzy's on there. Ozzy doesn't play guitar either.
Number 37 and 38, respectively, Johnny Depp and Sid Vicious.
Johnny Depp and Sid Vicious.
Yeah. Number 40,
what?
Prince.
What?
Number 40 is Prince. Number 41 is Jimi Hendrix.
What?
This is no way.
This list is a lie. Probably an 8-year-old kid uploaded it to troll.
Yeah, seriously, because this is like...
Gotcha, bitch!
Oh my gosh, number 44, Billy Gibbons.
Oh.
From ZZ Top.
No, this is just getting overboard.
It is. Number 49, worst guitar players of all time, Yngwie.
Wow, they put
And then
Yngwie on the list.
50, number 50 is Chuck Berry.
Shut up!
Who made this? Paul Stanley is 47.
Oh my God, this
Van
guy.
Halen is 45.
You're fired. This
worst
person.
of all time.
My God. All right.
George Harrison.
No, this is just wrong.
James Iha is 31.
Wow, I don't know who that is, so I don't care.
From Smashing Pumpkins. The Asian dude from Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, yeah. He's actually a really good guitar player.
I know. That's why I'm surprised. Number 25, Wes Borland.
Wes Borland's actually pretty good. You just can't... And, I have to defend him for a second because in Limp Bizkit, he doesn't sound like he's that good of a guitar player. But it's because the band doesn't require him to be that great at guitar or show off his abilities. They don't need him to do that.
Yeah, him and the bass player, Sam. I forget Sam's last name, but Sam was phenomenal at bass. He could tear it up too.
Yeah.
but it wasn't required.
Right, it's not required for that kind of stuff. That's why,
Yeah,
that's why they didn't hire me, because I went in there and I played something. They're like, this is just too hard for us, so forget it. Like, exactly.
I don't know.
It was probably something like that I played, what you just did.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Too complicated.
So, who knows what the next list is going to be, but we'll figure it out, right? We don't know. Maybe we will.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's just bizarre.
It is.
I can't believe they put all those. All right, so there's a difference between the best guitar players and great guitar players. They put all these great guitar players on the worst list. Yeah.
I don't know. But in the spirit of that, for the Titans of I don't know.
I'm Joe.
I'm Ben, and you guys have a good night.
Have a good night.